I'm gonna show you how to invest your first $1,000. I'm assuming you've already eliminated any bad debt you have. You have an extra $1,000 and you want to invest it. It's your first $1,000, don't know where to put it. I'm gonna go over 3 ways you can invest your money, your first $1,000, and then the 4th way of how I would go about it. Before you know how to invest your first $1,000, if you're gonna go with stocks, real estate, or any of those options, be sure to know what you're investing in, because you can invest your first $1,000 in stocks, buy the wrong stock, and lose all of your money. People have been burned by buying penny stocks that they had no idea what the stock was even doing, what it even meant. They just knew this ticker symbol has been going up, so they're gonna buy it, and next thing you know, Murphy's Law kicks in. Guess what? As soon as they buy it, it's at the top. They lose all their money. It's happened to me when I just got started investing. I had friends talking about all these penny stocks. I would get super excited seeing, wow, I'm gonna make all this money from penny stocks. And then when you buy a stock in a company you don't understand and you see it go down, you get so nervous, your stomach churns. You're forced to sell because it's not guaranteed to come back up. And 99% of the time, they never come back up. They go bankrupt. All those penny stocks I played with back in the day are all bankrupt and gone, right? With the exception of 1 or 2 out of hundreds. So I'm warning you and telling you, before you get into the stock market, real estate, educate yourself first. So invest that $1,000 into knowledge. Now, I don't think you need to invest all your $1,000. There's so many free resources. You don't need to go and buy all these courses. You can just look up on Google, what's a PE ratio? What's return on equity, right? Understand how to read a financial statement. You don't need to go to school for this. You have google.com, the most beautiful thing in the world. If you guys want a video of me explaining exactly how to analyze financial statements, how to read a stock, how to look at the fundamentals of a company and see, okay, this is their revenue, what this means, looking at trends and patterns, leave a comment down below. I'll make a whole video just dedicated to that. But this video is about how to invest your first $1,000. So before you know how to invest your first $1,000, you need to know how not to invest it. So buying penny stock, unless you know how to research the penny stock, you're looking at technical analysis. I have a few friends that all they do is read charts all day and see, oh my God, this is a cup and handle. This stock is most likely gonna go up, and they have their stop losses and they know what they're doing. Fine. But for the general population, I wouldn't recommend it. Personally, I don't like to be glued to a computer screen all day or my phone looking at the price of a stock. I'd rather invest for the long term. It's better to know, okay, if you're gonna invest for the long term, buying companies you believe in, right? And that's where I would recommend reading books like Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. Read that book before you get into investing. And if you want to do technical analysis and day trading, I'd recommend Market Wizards by, I don't remember the author, but I will put that name up somewhere here or in the description for you guys to look up that book. Anyway, that's what not to do. We're gonna go over the 4 options you have, with the last one being what I would probably do right now. So one place you can invest your first $1,000 is the stock market. Now it's really simple. All you need is to open up a brokerage account, set up your account information, connect your bank account, send some money over, send the $1,000 over, and you have a brokerage account now. Now all you have to do is buy a share of stock. Now if you're investing your first $1,000 and that's all you have, I wouldn't recommend diversifying and being safe like most advisors would tell you, right? Like most people would say, be safe with your investments, diversify, diversify, diversify. But if you're only investing $1,000, it's not a lot of money, right? So this is where you should be actually most risky and put it all in maybe 1 or 2 stocks. Because if you had $1 million, that's a whole different story. When you have $1 million and you're trying to maintain wealth, that's when you want to diversify as much as possible, because you don't care about growing so much as you care about maintaining and just beating inflation, maybe beating it by a little bit, right? As long as you still maintain your wealth. Now, if you only have $1,000, if you lose it all, it's not that bad. But I'm not saying to dump it all in a penny stock too, however, because penny stocks are 99% going to zero. That's a way to just burn your money if you don't know what you're doing. I'm saying to invest in a company that's already a big blue chip that you know, you understand, and you believe in anyway. So like Apple, Facebook, any big company, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, you might as well put that $1,000 in there, maybe 500 in Coke and 500 in McDonald's, right? That would be 2 great options. And then slowly build up your portfolio over time when you get more and more money. This is if you wanted to go with the stock market as your first investment option. Now let's go over the next one. So your second option could be investing in real estate. Now it's only $1,000, so you're thinking, how am I going to invest in real estate? I only have $1,000. It's not enough money. You're right, it's not enough money to buy your own house or apartment or condo or multifamily, right? This is to buy crowdfund investments, such as websites like Realty Shares, or investing with bigger people like Grant Cardone has Cardone Capital. You invest your money with him and then you get the benefits of real estate. But the problem here is you don't get the real benefits, right? Because you can also just buy an REIT, a real estate investment trust, but with all these options, you're not getting the control of actually buying the property yourself, versus putting down a $30,000 down payment, owning the home, doing your own renovations, buying it in the wedge of the market, and making the money there, being in full control of actually what you're doing. Instead, when you're doing a crowdfund investment, you're just putting money in with a whole group of people, and you're letting a certain person or group decide where to invest that money. So when you're investing in Cardone Capital, it's Grant Cardone choosing where he wants to buy his property, what he wants to do, what renovations he wants to spend money on, and how much he's going to pay you back from that investment. It is an option, but I'm not saying it's the best option with only $1,000, but it is. If you really love real estate, you can do the REIT, like I said, or investing in Cardone Capital or Realty Shares or any other crowdfund investment type where you'll need to front just a little bit of money and then you're in. Now, the third place where you can invest your money is in peer-to-peer lending, where you're basically taking the bank out of the equation and you yourself are being a bank, where you are loaning out money to other people and they're paying you back for the loan you give them. So let's say someone needs to buy a kitchen tabletop counter and the bank's not going to give them that loan, but they still need $10,000. They're going to go on a website like Prosper or LendingClub.com, get approved for that loan, and the people that are going to fund that loan are you and many other crowdfund investors that are all going to put $25 a piece in to make up that 10 grand to loan for that countertop. Now, Prosper and Lending Club make the money by being the middlemen and collecting fees from both ends, the borrowers and the lenders. So you can sign up for one of those websites as a lender and lend. You can lend the full 10 grand if you see that loan and you want to take on that much risk, but I wouldn't do that. It's pretty crazy. Or you can only put in 25 and take on as many loans as possible. So that way, when one loan defaults, it's only $25 and you still have your other loans. I have a full video explaining peer-to-peer lending, how I invest in it, the exact filters I used, how I've made an 18% return on peer-to-peer lending. If you're interested in that, I'll leave it somewhere in the screen as well. But yeah, check that video out if you care about peer-to-peer lending. But that's another option to invest your first $1,000. By the way, I didn't say this in the beginning of the video. I'm assuming if you go with stocks or real estate, even if you buy an REIT, I would do it through a Vanguard or whatever broker you want, Roth IRA, where it's tax advantage, or a 401k. But that should just be common sense behind any investment you do. You want to take advantage of taxes. You don't want to end up paying more taxes than you need to, right? If you're investing for the long term, it's best to take advantage of the government tax breaks we are getting with Roth IRAs and 401ks. Anyway, that's a whole separate video. I have a Roth IRA video too if you haven't seen it already. Boom. Let's get to the fourth thing, the option that I would go with. So the fourth option would be to invest it in the best place you can, which is yourself and your brain. And yeah, okay, reading books and all that, it's good having an education, and also starting your own business. $1,000, believe it or not, is enough to start your own business. If you haven't watched my video on arbitrage where I explain what arbitrage means, basically you can buy anything that you find cheap somewhere else that's selling for more in another place by taking advantage of arbitrage. So if you want to sell stickers on eBay, you can buy a bunch of stickers for dirt cheap on Alibaba or some other warehouse manufacturer you know that gives you a bundle of stickers, sell them on the internet on other sites like eBay, OfferUp, or Craigslist in real life if you want to sell them hand to hand, and you can make money on that. You can scale this up too, from something as small as stickers to even cars. With $1,000, you may be able to get a really cheap old used car, and if you're lucky, sell that for maybe $1,500 or $2 grand and start turning that money into more money. When I got started with buying and selling cars, I only started with $3,000. Bought my first car for $3 grand, sold it like 3 years later for $3 grand, so I broke even. But after that, I started buying and selling cars for making around $1,500, $2,000 profit each car. So that's a great way to make money. That's essentially a small business you're running on your own. But you can also spend that $1,000 on courses, and I'm not saying any random course, because there's a lot of courses on the internet saying, buy my $1,000 course, I'll teach you how to drop ship, do Amazon FBA, when honestly you can learn all that on your own for free. There's enough free videos out there. Like, be wise about where you spend your money. the way I'd spend that $1,000 is in my own business or something I can for sure profit from. If all you have is $1,000 and you spend it on an Amazon FBA or one of these courses, well, now you have $0. So I wouldn't do that, right? I would invest it in small things first, like the simple flipping things, the simple buying a bicycle for $80, selling it for $150. I have a friend, he buys a bunch of bicycles. Like, you don't have to follow traditional paths. You can buy it. My friend, I'll tell you exactly what my friend does. He buys bicycles and he buys these little electric motors, attaches them to the bicycles, and now they're electric bikes. And he buys those two parts. I think the bike is like $100 for him, and then the motor part is like 50 bucks. Sells that bike for $400. So he's making a $250 profit instantly just from making that. So if you find something like that, some small thing, then there you go. And if you're watching this and you don't have $1,000 to invest, make your first $1,000. Just get a job. It's like really easy. You can work anywhere. I mean, minimum wage, work a couple months, save up your money. You'll be able to save up $1,000. So anyway, that's how I would invest my first $1,000. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, leave it down below. Also, I always forget to say this, drop a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe, notification bell so you know when a new one comes out, and I hope you guys have a great day.